Well, hello. So as the presentation today, I'll show you basically how to land an aeroplane. We're making a simulated flight from Melbourne to Brisbane, and just so you know, Melbourne is that direction, while the airport is that direction, more or less. And as you may not know, when a pilot flies an airplane in a commercial flight, he doesn't go from one airport to another, something like that. We don't go directly from one point to another. There are rules that we must follow, and there are spaces that we must fly inside of them. So, for example, here is Melbourne. It's Brisbane. Melbourne is more to the south. But anyway. Every airport has its own code. For every pilot in the world knows which airport we're talking about. In case of Melbourne is YMML, which is in aviation alphabet would be Yankee Mike Mike Lima. We use words to letters to make it easy. And here is Brisbane, which is Yankee Bravo November. Right? We don't go directly, as I said, from here like this. We don't go. We use mainly exits from airports and arrive ways to get to another. So, for example, in Melbourne we are taking off from runway 27, for example, which is one runway of Melbourne, which is no, this is 16, sorry, 16 runway, 116 from here. We are taking off, it will look like this. The document in each of airports says that we're going to make one turn like this and this, all right? And here there's a point which we are going to intercept an airway, which is a corridor, which is a road for aircrafts. All the aircrafts are going inside this road that goes directly to Brisbane. There are another roads that goes to Adelaide, Perth, Darwin, Sydney, Canberra, right? Each main airport leads to each other with a road for aircrafts, which we call runway. So the runway comes from this to nearby Brisbane. Here we started our descent to Brisbane, and we are following the right procedures, which is one of the papers that I gave to you. This one is a arrival procedure, standard instrument arrival procedure. I don't remember what the letter stands for, but anyway, this is the point called Blacker, which you can find in your paper. This Blacker is when you get out from the airway and starts to get inside the airport, which would be perfectly analysis as you get out from a highway and goes from little roads until your city, built more or less like that. So Blacker we have, let's stay from runway 01, which would be this one here, the closest to Blacker. Blacker, we go to Movie, and then Bertie, Giro, Glen, and intercepted runway. These points don't exist. They are imaginary points detected only by a GPS system, and they are shown in the navigation display of the airplane. The airplane that we're flying is the Boeing 737. It's the one that I really love and know. So you can find it on Virgin Australia Airlines and as well as Qantas. His cockpit is like this, very simple. And the points that I showed appear on the navigation display. The navigation display is this one. All right? And this is the premier flight display. The premier flight display is the most important. We found that we can find there the altimeter, the speed indicator, all basically the systems indicator, and the nivellation of the plane.
The balance?
Balance of the plane.
Yeah.
Here. Alright, I'll teach you how to land an airplane. Right? Imagine that your airplane is already on Blacker, not all the way to Melbourne, only Blacker, right? And you find yourselves in a plane that both pilots are dead. And you must land the airplane, alright?
Okay.
You can do it. Then you'll remember this class and you will be able to save 150 pesos. Right? So, First of all, you get inside the cockpit. You get inside these buttons here.
The cabin.
Yes. The first thing that you must know is the conditions of the aircraft. If it's perfect conditions or not. If it is, sit on the left seat. I said to you yesterday, the captain seat is this one. And you sit, all right? For check if the aircraft's in good conditions, check if there is an alarm or some annoying sound that is on to you. Most of the warning systems will be like a light shining right here. The yellow one will be shining and only like a beep, only like this. And the square will be shining. And if the red one is shining and bing, 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 directly, you are screwed, right? You have 5 seconds to save the plane, and otherwise you will explode, right? Basically, it's more or less like that.
Yeah. So red is bad, yellow is
bad,
not
yellow
so
is
bad.
Yes, exactly, not so bad.
Okay.
But if it no lights, it's good condition.
No, it's good conditions.
Without lights.
Without lights.
Yeah.
If the yellow light, what is Santiago? I'll teach you how to land an airplane. So, the teaching Santiago how to land an airplane. We'll make a flight from Melbourne to Brisbane, and we found the sheet you are holding is the arrive for the Brisbane airport. Can you imagine we are at Blacka and we must land near runway? It would be like roads from Blacka to the runway that every aircraft must follow, right? So, where I was? Oh yeah, like checking the lights. If the red light is blinking, you're screwed. If the yellow light is blinking, you can touch it and turn it off. And in this, right here, there are some words. They mean what is wrong if the yellow light is blinking. For example,
Wing. This.
Exactly. The yellow light shines. You click to stop the noise, and then you'll see what's wrong. It will say to you, hydraulic problem.
Side engine. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We'll say to you what to do, right? But since we are imagining a perfect condition, no lights are shining. Okay.
Yeah.
Then you check your fuel. If your fuel is enough to get to the destination, which will be probably enough because it was a regular flight, so the fuel is enough. But if you are landing on an airport which was not your first option, and it has too much fuel on the airplane, you must not land. You can't land. Otherwise, the tire will explode because it's too much weight for the aircraft. Remember that we take off with more weight because we have a lot of fuel. We burn this fuel during the trip, and we land it with less fuel, so the aircraft is light during the landing. So if some case we must land this airplane full of fuel, we must, in other words, open the tanks in the sky and throw it away. Throw it out. We can do that. All right, but let's imagine that the quantity of fuel is perfect. Then you must check the cabin communication, because you may need to call flight attendant from your cabin to the cockpit. That button is located right here. This one here. And beside the emergency lights. There there's a button, you just click and make a sound on the passenger's cabin, and the flight attendant will be right back at the cockpit if you need something. Some information.
Coffee. Yeah.
I need some coffee because I'm about to crash, so
my last coffee.
Yeah, my last coffee, the last coffee of my life. But since you call, right, the flight attendant is there for you. Another, I think, is the most important then. You must check the radio, because you will talk with the people on the airport, and they will tell you exactly what to do. So you must check if your radio is working. The radio is located right. The microphone is located here. There's a pedestal here that we can't see, but here will be the radio. The frequency of the radio will be like here. I mean, you are seated, the navigation display, the windows is like here, the radio. And here you must choose the most suitable frequency, which is in this case 120.5. You can find on on the sheet we're holding, there's a square on the top of it, various squares, and it's written ATIS, ATP, TWR, SMC. The one that you need is TWR, which is tower. You're communicating with the tower of Brisbane, which is 120.5. 120.5, you call the tower, they will answer, they will help you, all right? But since that is all working, the radio is working, then you'll check the meteorological conditions, because if the skies are not good, for pilots it's already hard, so for you it would be impossible. So then they're attending with very bad weather. So we'll check the